All right, board number 3 for Liberty Cup. In Austria, we have Kartik Konath. Hopefully I'm saying that right. In England, we have Jaron Berman out of Colorado. In France, we have Craig Mayer from Montana, who both of us know well. I think both of us were at the Big Sky Con that he ran last summer.
All three of us were there,
yeah. All three of us were there. And that was a good time. That was a really good time. And Craig is improving as a player. Let's see how he does in this game. In Germany, we have David Maletsky, who likes to teach while playing. In Italy, we have Christian Klein, who is the resident scorpion of the Windy City Weasels Club, a longtime player and a longtime fly in the eye of many people, shall we say. I speak from personal experience. Christian is the winner of one of the virtual face-to-face tournaments, the first one that was run in the lockdown period, and that was DixieCon back in May. In Russia, we have former world champ Doc Binder. And in Turkey, we have Ariel Mendez Peñate, who is a badasser.
He's from San Francisco.
Relatively new player, but he's made a big impression. Very friendly guy, and improving as a tactician. Yep.
Absolutely. Once he gets over that whole Army Liverpool thing, we'll be good. Can I just say that this board looks like hell on earth?
Yeah, I mean, with Christian and Doc in the East, I'm not sure I'd want to be Ariel.
I'm not sure I would either. And then Dave Maletsky, who can just be such a wild card in the middle of the board, is...
Yeah. Let us see how things work in 1901 spring. Let us start in the East this time with what appears to be the center of the action. Adam, take us through the East.
Yep. I think that these are very standard openings. Bounce in Galicia, bounce in the Black Sea, hold in Venice, Apulia, Ionian, Italy setting up to potentially do a Lepanto, and not aggravating anyone with the Venice unit. I think the only thing that obviously would stand out to people is the move of Smyrna to Syria, which is a unusual move, but not an unheard of move. It solves the problem of giving Turkey the option of moving the Ankara fleet out to Constantinople and leaving Smyrna open for a build in the fall. Of course, this can also be accomplished by just holding in Syria or holding in Smyrna or moving Smyrna to Ankara in the fall. But this is another way to do that, and still gives some play on Armenia if you wanted to do that for some reason.
All right, Siobhan, take us around the West.
I am supremely bored. When someone does something interesting. It's very typical from England, very typical from Germany. The French moves, you don't see move to Burgundy, but that's probably all about the negotiation that he had with Dave Maletsky and just decided to leave it open.
I'm a little disappointed that there was not a bounce in Piedmont if both of these guys were going to be holding. It's always fun to see a bounce in Piedmont.
Yeah.
All right, let's stay in the West for fall of 1901. And Siobhan, take us through it.
I enjoy the convoy to Portugal. That's a little different. It keeps your fleet in Mau, and then you can convoy it back to Bray. You can pull things back to Mar. We do see a move to Piedmont this time, so that's at least interesting. And a full northern move by the English players.
All right, Adam, take us around the East.
Just one comment about the convoy to Portugal. That to me looks super anti-English, isn't it? To keep that fleet in Mau so that you can support yourself to the channel or go directly to the Irish Sea. So I'd be watching for that. Of course, the Piedmont move might impact that. Looking at the East, this is pretty boring. There's no surprises. Syria moves to Armenia, but Ankara went to Constantinople. So it's really it's really difficult to see that as an aggressive move. So very standard.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the builds, and keep in mind that these players can negotiate during the build phases. So if we see Fleet Ankh, then obviously we know how that turned out. If we see Fleet Smyrna, we also know how that turned out. Quick note about this fleet Mid-Atlantic. This could be pivoted to the south very easily as well. So this still gives what it does is it gives France strategic flexibility regarding England or Italy. It takes away strategic flexibility against Germany, though, because it will take a full year to get this Army Portugal back into relevance.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, let us have a look at the builds. And what we have are from France, Fleet Brest and Army Marseille. We've got a fleet in London. These are all relatively non-committal, although Fleet Brest, we could have seen Fleet Marseille and we didn't. So that certainly said, despite the fact that Italy may have poked the bear by moving to Piedmont, it at least did not result in too much of a roar. Germany's Germany got 3 builds. That was worth pointing out, and puts down Fleet Kiel, which is the most ambiguous that he could have done. But there's also the potential for a Western triple here. I would have been more convinced of it had we seen a Fleet Marseille here, but this still could be a bit of a fake out. So if we see Fleet Mid-Atlantic down to West or North Africa, then obviously we know what's up. But the rest of this is all consonant with the Western triple. England's moves and Germany's builds. Okay, and in the East, nothing surprising there. So let us go to spring of 1902, and let's stay with the unsurprising East and see if anything unexpected happens. Adam Silverman, did anything unexpected happen?
Well, I think, you're starting to see the alliances playing themselves out. It's a clear AIR. It doesn't spell good news for the Turks here. So, you see them, making those moves effectively. It's worth noting that Italy pulled back to Venice just as a precautionary move. Didn't see any play against France, which is very sensible. So, this is going to be a tough spot for Turkey, and they'll have to negotiate their way out of it.
All right. Yet I feel like we have had this sort of conversation several times, Siobhan. Tell us how that Western triple is going.
That Western triple is going great for France. But so it seems that Germany and England at least thought it might still be on, but France had other plans. I would be entirely unsurprised to see that army in Portugal wind up in Liverpool in the fall. We've got sort of a safety bounce in Burgundy. So, go, Craig, go. I will also say in the comments, someone pointed out that there is no negotiation during builds at this tournament.
Oh, is that right? Okay, so I had bad intel. Thank you for pointing that out. I think so. You might wonder why this fleet didn't go to English Channel if it's an anti-French move, and you nailed the really obvious answer, which is that there's a direct line into Liverpool, and this is probably why Craig left it holding, even though it could easily convoy from Spain just as easily. This I think is a bit of a mic drop kind of move, isn't it? Like I am so confident that you're not going to be moving to Wales and blocking this. I'm not even going to move this army.
Don't even need to move it.
All right. So that is East and West for spring of 1902. Let's look at fall of 1902. Let's stay in the West. Siobhan.
And indeed, Portugal goes to Liverpool. Gascony just hangs out. England comes back a little too late and at the cost of losing Norway to the Russian. But he looks like he might be getting some help from the German, who's pulling a little bit west. But yeah, Craig just had the drop, and whatever lies he put in Jaren's ear worked.
Let us, Adam, tell us how good of a turn this was for Doc Bender.
Well, Doc is definitely playing up to type and being extraordinarily aggressive here. He lets the Austrians take their dot in Bulgaria while just walking through into Budapest. And that's the thing to do, apparently. He takes the Black Sea. The Italians take Constantinople by convoying with how did that work? Did they have support?
In Constantinople?
Bulgaria supported it.
Yeah, Bulgaria supported it.
Bulgaria is supporting it in. Okay. So they got the Austrians to support them into Constantinople, but now, Italy's getting a build. Austria is not getting a build, and Sev is open for a build. So, this is a great master play by Doc.
Let's congratulate these players for getting the set of orders correct. This is often something that just misfires. But you had to get the two fleets, had to get the convoy, and then especially the army had to get the support the right unit here. All right, let's talk about this for a second, because so your Doc Bender, you have you have turned what looked like a pretty weak position into a less weak position. There is a huge curiosity here, though, which is Army Galicia. I think without Army Galicia, you'd be feeling a lot better about things. But as far as the strategic position goes, who is your ally if you're Doc Bender?
There are people who are willing to ally with Doc Bender. I kid.
It's got to be Italy, right?
It has to be.
I mean, Italy's got to be your number one ally. I think you're still trying to figure out, can I get a little bit more out of Austria or Turkey before I stab the hell out of them again? But I mean, that's just a question of how are they deploying me now, and are they so thoroughly fed up with the crap I'm pulling that there's nothing more to be done. But Germany's Dave Miletsky. David is. He's there to cause some trouble and to balance the board, which means that he's certainly not there to help Doc, right? No. I mean, his goal is.
What do you build if you're Doc, Siobhan?
He's up 2-1.
Just one.
Just one.
He lost Sweden, so. Adam, you want to go first?
I think it's got to be Army Sev.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what happens. Yep, Army Sev. And around the rest of the board, we've got another fleet in Brest. Probably not too much of a surprise. Army Kiel is interesting. A fleet would have definitely signaled anti-England, but this is probably anti-French. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can't really be.
Absolutely anti-French.
This makes the move to Galicia even more surprising. I kind of wonder if that move to Galicia was part of an order set that that represented an older strategic plan of his, and after he shifted strategic plans, did not fix that last sort of dangling order. Elsewhere, we have Fleet Naples. Actually, I think I might have thought we'd get an Army Venice here. So this signals that Italy wants to finish up Turkey. Mm-hmm. So, okay, let us move forward here. Spring of 1903, and let's stay in the East with Adam. What do you see?
Okay, well, we would have had a guess in Turkey, except that the Russians, as I said, are working with the Italians. So there's no longer a guess. They just destroy that unit in Smyrna, and it's actually not it shouldn't be a PIF. It's it should have Syria or Eastern Med to retreat to, but it looks like he elected just to remove it. Kind of a hopeless position, I guess, and decided to throw it in, I guess, but could have taken the retreat and tried to do something from there in the fall. Interestingly enough, I completely misjudged German's intentions in Galicia. He supported the army in Budapest. Entirely not what I would have expected in that position. So again, great turn, Doc. You've secured your ally in Italy. You've managed to secure your position in Romania. The Austrian didn't really even do anything aggressively against you. So I'm happy if I'm Russia.
And Siobhan, take us around the West.
We see another beautiful convoy into Liverpool. Craig can guarantee Eddie, while not losing Liverpool, can make a play for London. The English convoy the German to Yorkshire. It'll be interesting to see if the German remains friendly with the English player, but with all the other units moving away from France, I'm thinking maybe France just says, hey, I'll support you into London. And that would just take care of the English problem. Germany's going to get stalled a little bit in the north against Doc in Russia. But yeah, it's about all she wrote.
Yeah, it's a curious set of moves here for Dave. Not sure what, unless he gets help from the English here, they can't do anything against. He doesn't have enough units to do anything against Norway. Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
All right, let us look in fall of 1903. We'll stay in the West here.
Just a quick comment about the French position. Can you show the position?
No, because the orders already been shown.
I'm just wondering, do you want to have two armies in England if you're France? I mean, I understand the tactical reasons for that, but is that a position you really want to have here?
I mean, if Germany's not going to... Go ahead, Siobhan.
I was just going to say, where else are they going to go? If you're not really fighting Germany, Italy is so far in the east.
Yeah.
It's all about whether you can keep Germany on side.
But it's also an issue later in the game. Once you take England out, you've got two armies stuck in England.
Yeah.
That's true.
You've got to get them off there if you want to get them into play. And that
this is a fascinating turn here coming up for Germany. This is a moment of truth, I think, for Germany to divulge what he wants to see happen in the East versus between England and France.
Mm-hmm.
So let's find out. And Siobhan, tell us.
And Dave takes Edinburgh while, okay, we just set up to finish London and probably take Eddie back from the German next year. So Craig has decided, hey, this gets him off my side. England remains on 1, which is mildly problematic. But do I see right that English Channel supported Wales to London?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, in case there was a bounce.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Germany continues to shift units in Scandinavia, which is fine. And another bounce in Burgundy. How boring.
I should say, even if you thought there was going to be a self bounce here, I think you'd still rather support Irish Sea into the whale. Minor tactical point. Adam, take us around the East.
Yeah, I just want to comment something on the East that's maybe should be having an impact in the West, and that's the fact of how carefully the Germans and the Russians seem to be coordinating their moves. And if I'm France and I just gave Germany a build and have 2 of my armies in England, and England is now down to 1 dot, maybe I'm thinking, I don't know. This is a little concerning to me. So, it's very clear that army in Galicia is just helping Doc out. Much to the contrary of what I thought when it first ended up there. Not a lot happens, but the Russians do take Ankara, freeing themselves up for a build. They did not move out of St. Petersburg, so they can't get another unit up there, but they can put something in Warsaw to continue the play down south.
Fascinating. This is fascinating play by Dave Maletsky here.
Yeah.
And Doug likes to talk a lot about various German possibilities. It'd be interesting to hear what he thinks about a stray German unit and just hanging out in Galicia doing foreign service work.
Unsurprisingly, he says he loves it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard not to love this, right? Like it's doing work for Dave, even though it's not producing units. It's doing work and it's positioned in such a delicious place for something that might happen in the future. And Dave is getting a build here. Let's look at the builds, and then I'm going to ask you guys whose position you like best in this game. We have an army in Kiel, interesting, and then we have some disbands. We've got 2 more armies coming down in Italy and 1 in Naples.
Convoy.
Fascinating. Very, very fascinating. You must be destined for Albania. Yeah, and why not? You put 2 on Trieste, put 2 on Albania, and Austria can't do both, except with Russia help. Okay, then given that this is the board situation, who do you guys like? Who has the best position here? And Adam, start with you.
I love the German position here. He's got no enemies. He doesn't have the most obvious expansion routes because of that, and he's going to have to make some decisions at some point. But, I mean, so many possibilities. He's got play in the East. He's got a wide open France in the West, if that's the way he wants to go. He's got possibilities against Russia if that's where he wants to go. I really like the position.
Siobhan?
Dave's done a great job.
I agree completely with everything Adam said. For me, it's a little bit closer to a tie between Germany and Russia. The Italian has some really interesting options, but I don't think has the best overall path forward in this game.
It's interesting. You don't normally see GRs this successall, but it's nice to have a demonstration of how successful they can be, at least through 1903. Guys, all right. Let us learn a little bit about Sarah Douglas then, courtesy of Bill Hackenbracht. Sarah Mapps Douglas, born in 1806, died 1882, so another 19th century figure, was an American educator, abolitionist, writer, and public lecturer. Her painted images on her written letters may be the first or earliest surviving examples of signed paintings by an African-American woman. Douglas's role as an activist began as early as 1831, when at age 25, she organized the collection of money to send to William Lloyd Garrison to support The Liberator, which is a publication. Douglas also helped to found the Female Literary Association, a group of African American women dedicated to improving their skills and deepening their identification with their slave sisters. Thank you very much, Bill, again for that, and thank you, Sarah Douglas, for your work in the 19th century. I see that we have swapped out Siobhan Nolen for Doug Moore. I believe, Siobhan, you were on game board 3 before, yeah?
I guess I'm pinch hitting. That's okay.
Okay. Swap back. Siobhan, you were definitely on board number 3. Sorry, Doug. We'll see you in a little bit. Come on back, Siobhan.
Somebody really doesn't want me in here.
All right, let's switch on over. Here we are. And this board found the one who shall not be named anymore, Doc Binder. Right, this is the Doc Binder board where he was really doing some jujitsu on us and on the rest of the board. He is sitting tied with the board top with the DM. And this is where we left this with Christian Klein dropping an army in Naples, along with an army in Venice. Sitting also in Cannes and Smyrna. This is very friendly to Craig Mayer, who is having some northern adventures as France. All right, let's keep on going here. And Siobhan, we will go to you for the West and take it away.
Okay, lots of movement here. Craig moving to take London. Eddie supports Clyde down to Liverpool. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Germany does some reshuffling of his armies. Nothing too exciting. Love getting into the North Sea. Thank you very much, Doc Bender, for that help. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, this was the RG that we were just generally impressed with.
Yeah.
All right, Adam, talk to us about the East.
Yeah, RGI. I mean, look at the coordination between Russia and Italy over there. They destroy. Wow, that's a death to several Austrian units. Trieste and Bulgaria, convoy to Albania. This is the complete collapse of the Austrian position right here.
I mean, Serbia and Vienna are not far behind.
This is why Doug Moore came on the broadcast, because he wanted to talk some more about the German army in Galicia.
That's right, and a lot of this is the fault of that. Well, it's not the fault of that, but playing a big part in it is the cut on Vienna, right, which otherwise would have dislodged actually destroyed the Russian unit in Budapest.
Yeah, this feels a lot like a draw-based game, doesn't it? With a 3-way, possibly 4-way alliance, including France. Just kind of ruling this. All right, let's push forward into fall 1904. We will stay in the East with Ashton. Break it down for us.
Well, Germany does get his piece of the pie in Vienna, so everybody shares the love a little bit, and we do bid a fond farewell to the Austrian, who lost 4 centers this turn, including 3 to the Italians. So good job, Christian Klein. Good job, Dave Miletsky. Kartik, hopefully it was a learning experience and enjoyable while it lasted. Otherwise, go ahead.
Christian Klein may not know that he only has 3 home centers to build in.
Thank you for pointing out the dotting of Russia in Ankara, lest we forget that. And this is actually a savvy move, right? Because he's going to have to go somewhere next, and so he takes that dot from Russia. I don't think Russia had a build coming, so Russia actually goes down 1. He's in the Aegean to cover Constantinople or support himself there, be able to force the black next year. Very savvy move, actually. And go ahead.
This is a Golden Blade candidate stab here. He jumps from 7 to 11. So
there was one other huge stab earlier tonight, again with like 4 units.
Yeah.
Or 4 builds, but
this is a 4-dot stab. Now, his he has, if there was any worry about the RG suffering any internal discord due to too much success, that should be out the window now. Well, let's Siobhan, let's hear about the West before we look at the overall board position here.
The West, there's a lot of red arrows as various powers attempt to do various things. Because English Channel was cut. Craig finally gets the last of the English home dots, and Doc Binder shifts his fleet over even further.
So here's the situation before the builds. We have down to 4 players now. I mean, first of all, let's just remark at that we have 3 eliminations by the end of 1904. I mean, talk about ruthless efficiency. We have Italy going to have 1 in the bank after this, but sitting at 11. No, no change of rules since then. Is there and he has a very nice line of armies, but so does RG.
Yeah.
So without delving in too much, I'm just going to assume that there are places here that are weak. I believe there's lots of, Christian is an extremely adept tactician, so it wouldn't surprise me to see these guys having trouble breaking through here. Is there any reason to think Tyrolia should fall? Actually, that should be guaranteed.
Tyrolia should fall, and Dave Miletsky and Doc Binder, if they're on the same page.
Wait, are we going to get an army Venice?
You're right. Thank you. I
wouldn't make assumptions about that yet. Let's see.
Well, but then Trieste should be cut here.
Russia's got to pull. I mean, presumably it's going to be Warsaw or something, but there's or it could be Norwegian. But I think that's going to affect things a little bit.
The question is there any reason to think that if this game were to be played out for a lengthy period of time, that Christian wouldn't top this board?
Something major would have to change, but
yeah, the tide is definitely in his direction. I mean, clearly he's got a formidable pair to be dealing with. So, can he advance from this position? I don't know.
All right. Well, let's see what the builds are. We've got an army and 2 fleets. Probably no surprise. 2 army builds from France is kind of delightful, actually.
It kind of is.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you have to think that if this game were to continue, that F and G would get over it, and Dave would, find a way to convince Craig to send some units down to try to pop the balloon from the rear, but. With an army in Clyde, I mean, this is, this has potential. Probably not solo options, unless things got really ugly between France and Germany. In any case, this game goes 1 more turn, and then it's going to end after this. So let's see what happens. Tactically, it looks like let's just focus on the East here. So Christian surprisingly inert, actually, for Christian. Oof. This is a surprisingly inert set of moves that sees Vienna open up to a possible weakness here. But Doc Binder is able to take Bulgaria for the moment. This would be quickly reversed, I believe. And then Black is going to fall. No, this is they had Germany and Russia had a chance, I think, to push Christian back. It would have required getting Craig on side. That clearly didn't work. So
I'm just disappointed that Craig didn't convoy another army into England.
just put all the armies into England, every single one.
Yeah, I mean, we could spend a little time talking about the tactics here. He could have blown up the army here. It's probably what you wanted to do here.
Mm-hmm.
You could have guaranteed taking Edinburgh back, and then you'd have a Russian army on the island instead.
Yep.
In any case, this game ends right here. No more moves. Is this the right result here, given after the stab?
I mean, on this hell board, there is no right result. Well done, Christian. Anyway.
How many demons does it take to make a watchable diplomacy game?
I mean, speaking of Hellboard, the chat actually said Dave Miletsky's name 3 times, and he did appear. So, to be fair, apparently it works.
Oh, God. Okay. So, congratulations to Christian Klein. Excuse me.
That you choked on that a little, didn't you?
I can't speak.
Well done, Christian Klein. It was a pleasure to watch the game, as always.
Oh, God. My skin is burning. All right. Yes, what you just said, and condolences to Craig Meyer for being on this board in the first place, and congratulations for surviving it.
Decent result, despite, yeah.